Jasmine, you were at the Peace Camp as a very young child. Can you talk about that a little bit? Tell us what you first remember?
Or anything that you remember?
We were catching a rat with Olga and keeping it in a shoebox and putting a little, I don't know how we did it, but we made a crutch or a cast because we decided it had its leg broken. Somebody made us get rid of it. They let it go, so we were really mad at her. And we hated her for the day. I think I was 5, I think, or 4, I don't know. And then me and my mom went back when I was like 11 for a little while. I think she had her head shaved, the checkerboard print. And she wanted some of my drink, my soda or something. She convinced me that she had strawberry or raspberry flavored spit, so it wouldn't be gross to share a drink with her. And we became best friends and cousins. I remember like there was an outdoor kitchen. I remember that part the best because I thought it seems cool remembering it. I don't know if I thought it was cool at the time. And then I remember there was a barn or something that me and Olga wanted to turn into a museum later. we came back later on. We're like, let's make a museum and people will come from all across the land. Everybody wants to see the Peace Camp. But I remember like the barn part, and then there was an outdoor kitchen, and then like the house where there was like some like refrigerator or something. Like there was 2 parts to the kitchen. And I remember one time I was supposed to get dessert if I had eaten all my eggplant, and then I finally choked it down like 5 hours later and somebody ate all the dessert. But I remember like the kitchen, and then there was like the wood stove where I burnt my back because I had like those little kid pajamas with the foots in them, the plastic ones, and it was like that flammable material, and I don't know where I got it because my mom would not buy me anything like that, but I loved it, so I was wearing it. And then everybody was sitting around processing, and like I was bored and cold, and I like leaned up with my whole back against like the pipe part of the wood stove, and like I just felt the pajamas melt my back, and I was so embarrassed, and I just walked upstairs. Like I went all the way up the stairs to like the room part or whatever, and I started screaming for my mom. Like I waited till I got all the way up there to scream, and then she had to peel it off my back. It was so disgusting. But then I remember like that one cold room where there was all the like flyers and letters and things stacked, and that room was really cold. And then there was the upstairs where I moved the dresser. Well, I used to throw fits all the time, and one time my mom and other people, I think, put me up there. It was a huge, really old, heavy dresser, and like lots of people had to move it against the door, and the door was the kind that pushed out, like you opened it out. And they were like, yes, she'll leave us alone now. And everybody went back downstairs, and then like my mom said you could hear a squeak like creaking. And they could hear the dresser being moved across the floor, and I was like 5. And then you could hear the dresser squeaking and creaking across the floor. And then they came up, and my mom said it was like a horror movie. Like there I was, like opening the door. Good times. I remember people like talking to me a lot and stuff. Like Becky always played with me. Shout out to Becky. Just kidding. And then Izzy, because I remember a picture of her with her hat, and she had an accent too, so she's from England too. And then Luna was always one of my favorites, but it's because she was kind of mean. She was like, seemed like a kind of angry person. I remember her breaking things. One time we were at their apartment in Oakland. I can't remember, she broke something. But she, like, I was like that a lot. I'm a very angry person. So I thought like she was kind of a big one of me. Even like in Oakland, I still remember we would go to Helen and Luna's house or their apartment. I liked her a lot. I only really remember like I have a picture of me and Rachel together. Oh, I should find that. I have that. I look so ugly. It is the worst. Like my hair was ratty and long, and I was like all hunched over, and Rachel was eating all properly, and I was like, I should get that. Remind me to find that. But I have a picture of Rachel, and then like I remember Michelle by her name though, but I don't. And the only thing besides that picture with Rachel, I remember her singing "Where Have All the Flowers Gone." around a campfire or something one time, but like I remember Olga, just because once I realized that there was still as many presents as there was on Christmas, and it was really just like Christmas, but except with a different name. Then we still, I still have pictures somewhere, I think, or my mom does, of all the presents and wrapping the presents. And then I said, Christmas is a fart. Because that's what I said about everything that I didn't like. Like, when you and Becky broke up, was it Becky that I called a fart? Like, maybe it's written on paper or something, but Becky is a fart. And Christmas after that was a fart.
And do you remember anything about the soldiers or the base, or was any of that part of your consciousness at age 5?
I don't remember my consciousness at age 5, but like now I know. Because I was trying to describe the peace camp to somebody in class one time, and then I was like, what was the point anyways? So I went home and I read about it. Some people there were in a separatist phase, and so then they're like, we hate men, rah, rah, rah. And one time we were driving across country, and me and Olga with Laine, like we were sitting in the back seat of the car, and every time a guy would be behind us, we would pop up in the back window and be like, prick, prick, and we were like really tiny. No, but I do remember like songs about protesting, like, I don't know, I can't think of one.
Do you remember that people were singing songs, or you sang songs? Or?
I don't think I joined in those songs.
You just remember them happening?
Yeah, like big circles where people were processing and strumming on their little stupid guitars. And it would go around and around, and I'd be a kid and I'd be really bored. And I'd try to get people's attention, but I remember people singing songs and taking forever to be like, oh, the moon and things like that. And everybody would have to sit there politely and like feel their pain. It was a lot of fun. Oh, Little Women. Well, I think me and Olga, like earlier that year, we came with both you and my mom, right? Yeah, okay. And then that we would make pancakes outside on the fire, and we would pick wild strawberries, and we would make pancakes like that. But like there was like, I think that's when me and Olga decided to make a museum out of the barn. And so we had all these plans, and we played Pocahontas all the time. When we came back, I was in 6th grade, so I was 10 and then 11, because me and my mom went. It was during the summer when we did that little road trip thing. Yeah. But then me and my mom ended up going back. I don't remember how long, a couple months or something. It was weird. It was cold. It was cold there. I don't know, I was like in 6th grade and I hated it.
And you
Well, at first I wasn't. I was getting homeschooled at first. Yeah. And then I hated it. I was like so bored. And then, so my mom put me in school, and because I remember you helped me. I was doing a project on Egyptians, and you were helping me. It was like a big poster board, and I was making like, I remember you helped me with that. But
do you remember how the kids treated you?
I don't even know.
Because you lived at the peace camp?
I don't even remember going to school from there. Like, I don't remember at all. But I remember doing that project.
Because you had a little friend who lived
in the trailer park.
In the trailer park.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Maybe because my mom and Z used to drop me off at the peace camp. Because I was going to school from Z's house. But like, I have a list of all the schools that I, like, just from my memory, all the schools that I went to, and I did not ever, I've made that list a couple different times, and like never put a school from the peace camp. But no, you know what? It was the same school that I went to when we moved to Z's. I stayed at the same school. That was like the worst year ever, my 6th grade year. I don't even.
You were pretty unhappy. You ran away a few times.
I did? Where did I run away to?
You never got very far. I should go by and get her now. She doesn't have a coat on.
Where did I go? Just walking down the street?
Walk up, yeah, towards the town.
Oh, I remember that one time. There was like a post office or something.
Yeah.
It was like weird. I was like, there was a phone there, right? But I didn't, because I didn't have any friends or anything, and like it was weird. I was just by myself. I was a kid by myself.
There were no kids around.
Oh, and the outhouse. That's what I remember. The thing about it, the stupid outhouse. kind of walk all the way out there, and then people would have pee pots and it would stink because they wouldn't want to get up in the middle of the night. You'd see nasty buckets of pee stinking up the place. I'm giving the peace camp a good name. Like, I have like one pictured in my head, like everybody's sitting around and the wood stove was right there, and everyone was like, the wood stove was here and everyone was kind of around it singing woman, love, moon, earth, peace, sister songs. Like, that would be really boring. Like, I remember going around trying to get attention from the people I knew liked me and would pay attention to me. They were boring, but I was bored, but also I was like, even like being young, I was really critical of people and mean, and like I thought it was bullshit. Some people taking 25 minutes to sing their, like, I hated it. I mean, like, I was not the nicest little kid. I'd pick out things about people that, like, their little weaknesses and zero in on them. We were fighting with people, arguing with people a lot. But I remember there was some people I didn't like. Like, it wasn't just kid stuff. Like, they were telling me to do something. Like, there was people I didn't like. Like, you and my mom were always together. And maybe things in Ann Arbor weren't working out swell for us. I don't know. But we ended up there with you. Why did we stay there? I don't know. Why? I don't know. Like, why did we come back later? Because there was nowhere else to go. We were in New York. Shit didn't work out in Woodstock either. So, because like in San Francisco or in Oakland or whatever, there was still people around, like Robin and Helen and Luna, and then I think Melissa was around or something. People were still around. But then, like, after that, when we moved to Tucson, like, after we came back from the peace camp and moved to Tucson, then, we lived at White Wolf Community. That was rural. It really was hippies, but we stayed at the back. We weren't part of those hippies.
Have you met other people your age that have similar experiences in terms of where they lived and how they lived?
No. I don't think it, like, sucked. Like, there was some, like, fun times. Like, it was, the outdoor kitchen thing was fun, and I think we did, like, stuff. I just don't remember what stuff. But, and that, like, I met Olga there, and Olga's my best cousin in the world. I mean, and like, there was cool things about being around lots of people and stuff. So, I mean, like, I do remember fun stuff. It's probably, like, if we hadn't gone back there for 6th grade, then maybe I wouldn't have such negative memories. But, I mean, like, that's mostly what we talked about. So that was, like, the worst. That just sucked. But it wasn't even really the peace camp. Like, it was just, no one was, like, coming and going. It was just you guys. And so, but I remember, like, fun things. I mean, I can't name any of those memories. Well, the only reason I chose women's studies as a minor, and now it's one of my majors, but I chose it as a minor because I was like, oh, this will be easy. I know all about the women folk. Because I had a crazy childhood. But then, like, because my major is sociology and my minor is women's studies, but then I noticed, like, I didn't realize, like, how much I learned as a kid. Like, to me, it's, like, basic knowledge, and just because that's how I grew up. But then, like, I noticed people are actually, like, learning thing as theory, learning stuff that, like, I just grew up around. Like, now it's, like, suddenly a big theory, and they're studying it and writing papers on it and stuff. Like, patriarchy. I just realized, like, I actually learned a lot of stuff growing up, but it just, like, got incorporated how I think about the world, and, like, didn't really think of it as a theory or anything like that. So and then I switched women's studies to my, like, a double major, because I realized I get good grades in it. But I just didn't realize, like, that those were things that actually people bothered to study. It just seemed like normal, like, life or something. I was bored, and I thought it would be fun to make a little newsletter for Peace Camp kids. And so I wrote it. I sent out letters to everybody else suggesting them to send their comments and pictures and letters and fun things in. But I thought it would be a good way for us to keep in touch with each other, because we all, like, kind of, like, were in the same crazy situation together at some point. Oh, okay. Jasmine, Pilar, which would be Olga, is going through a phase. Strawberry, Rachel, Kaylee, Alexis, and David. Congratulations! You have been selected to join the Sevens. Sevens are a group of peace encampment kids, PC kids. The way Sevens works, But I know I stole that name from a book that I read. There was a group called Sevens. It was like a fraternity. It was an Emmy Kerr book. That's where I got this idea. But the way Sevens works is the 5th of each month you send a letter, photo, or suggestions for the newsletter, or anything else you want in our monthly newsletter. The newsletter with you sending it in will be typed, copied, and sent to the other Sevens members. If you have personalized letters to any of the other members, you can send them to us at the camp. That would be me. There was no us. It was me all alone in 1992. Not in or marked personalized, not in envelope, along with any other sends. We'll envelope it. Well, me and my imaginary crew will envelope it and send it there with the newsletter. It saves stamps this way. Why Sevens? Because it's easier than sending out lots of letters to individual Sevens members. It is also a way for PC kids to stay in touch, and it's fun to see what the other members look like and what they have to say. Sevens, the name is picked because there are 7 original members that have been exclusively picked to be part of the Sevens, and also the book I read. If you want to join the Sevens, send your name, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, the dues are 2 to 4 stamps a month. I have Strawberry's letter somewhere. And over there. And I don't know what happened to Rachel's letters, but I did copy them. And Strawberry submitted a poem. Hey, wasn't my name Blueberry Crumb Cake? The end.